What's going on, guys? Curtis, Thatturbodakota. We're back. So let me explain. Let's see. Life happened, vacation happened, ran my phone over the truck, lost everything I was filming. Yeah, what else? I know it's been like, geez, at least 2 months. But here's the good news is we've got some new parts to put on. I'm excited about this stuff. Not only that, but if you look behind me, motor's back in the truck. And the stuff I actually had videotaped was I was showing you what my plan was or how I put the heads and everything back on the truck with the studs. And this time we used Cometic gaskets. About 9 years ago when I put this thing together, the Cometics I couldn't get them to work. They kept seeping. Ended up going with this Felpro 108s that literally lasted for like 8 years. So, well, shoot, let me do this. Let me just turn the camera around and we're going to talk about the first part, which I'm really excited about. It's kind of a universal part, and I did a teaser yesterday, a couple days ago. And then the second part is actually Dakota specific, but it's going to require some modification. Hold on one second. Okay, here's what we got. New turbo time. This is a Precision 7675 Gen 2. Not only that, it is a ball bearing boy. So we're going to the 7675 Gen 2. I know I've talked about it before, but this is actually a 68, I believe, and it's the first, what you consider the first generation of billet wheels. So I'm hoping the thing will pick up some power, maybe relieve a little back pressure. It looks like it's going to be a direct drop-in, which is nice. It means I don't have to change anything. So I'm going to go ahead and swap that out. The motor is back in the truck. Distributors and everything's on. But I'm going to go ahead and swap this out, finish doing the turbo kit, and then we're going to take a look at that second part that I'm really excited about. So see you in a couple minutes. New turbo's in. It was a direct drop-in, just like I thought. So new turbo's in, put a bunch of fluids in it. I've got to get a oil feed line made, a different one with a different fitting, but I can't do that during the week. Okay, so let's talk about the next new part. So right here, you're going to see the stock radiator. Well, that's a stock radiator for a 99. My truck's a 2000. The original radiator sat more forward. The 99 sits a little bit backwards. So converting it to a 99 radiator allows us to put the intercooler in. So what I have over here is a Wizard Cooling Dakota radiator. These things, they aren't cheap. I haven't really seen that many people with them. This particular one has no trans-cooler. It has a brushless 16-inch fan. I think it's like the 500 watt with the shroud. It's got 2 rows of 1-inch tube. The factory radiator has 1 row of tube, and I believe it's 1.25 inches, I think. So we picked up about 3/4 of an inch. It's all aluminum. Now, the issue with this thing is it is just such a pig that we're definitely going to have to make some modifications to the truck. Something with this upper support. So I'm not 100% sure what I want to do. I thought about cutting it here and cutting it here and boxing it in and then using a piece of tube. Also thought about just trimming it back and boxing it in. The thing about it is the factory radiator, like if you can see the way this thing's shaped, it kind of goes in and then it goes back out and then it comes back in again. Now that's fine for the factory stuff because the tank width and the core won't hit the center section right through here. But this Wizard fan that I was just showing you, radiator, is just so big that it hits before the mounts even get anywhere near where they should be. So we'll mock it up again. I'm gonna show you. I just wanted everything else done, and I want to do this last because another thing I think, or I kind of already know, is it's gonna try to come in contact with the turbo as well. So it's just gonna take a little bit of modification. So let me go grab it from over there. We'll throw it in the truck, test fit it, and see what's up. Okay, you can see this big meaty boy in here. So obviously it's pretty close to the turbo, so it's definitely gonna have to be pulled forward. But by the time you pull it forward, you can see where the factory upper support goes, and obviously it runs right through that sucker. So that's what I was saying. I think I'm just gonna hack the ends off of it and tube it. Now the only other thing about that is I also originally my intercooler had mounts. You can kind of see where they were welded. I just removed those. They're gone. So I might need to take it. We'll see. We'll see how, if it's real close, I might need to take it and go off. Is it threaded right there? And maybe make some L brackets there to the factory support. And then I can kind of pull it forward a little bit because I don't want it to rub. I know you guys can't see, but I don't want it to rub. It's really, really close. So anyway, I might just pull it forward just like a 1/4 of an inch, keep a little pressure on it. But I do think the first move is definitely gonna be putting that core support, pulling this back out, putting the support in, and cutting it and boxing the ends, and then running. I believe we're gonna have to run that tube through. So yeah, let me get after it. I'm kind of gonna show you this as we go. Another thing I noticed is it hits through this section right here, and it hits through here. So what I did is I took the factory mounts and took a razor blade and cut them because they do have like a piece of rubber that sticks down, and then I took a step bit and drilled through it to fit over here. So I'm hoping that that'll bring it up high enough that it won't hit. As you can see, it locates right there and it locates over there, but it's hitting on this radius right here on the other side. So yeah, I'm getting ready to sit it back in, and then we'll see what it looks like. If that doesn't work, another thing I thought about too is taking some pieces of aluminum, drilling it out, and basically welding it to this, like some pieces of flat, or maybe like fabricating up a washer or something, whatever, just to get the radiator up so this doesn't hit on that contoured part of the lower support. But let me drop this in. We'll see what this looks like first. Okay, update time. So I decided against hacking the ends off and putting a bar in it. At least I can still use my factory hood latch, but I notched it. I took some really close measurements. I notched that sucker out. I ended up making new brackets for my intercooler. I used their original casted location and put a nut cert in here. So it's braced from here. So I pulled it forward just a hair. And then I did some measurements, made the notch. So now what I do is I got to put some sheet metal. I think I'm going to box that in. Probably not all of it, but I'll probably try to box at least around that corner, maybe to here. We'll see how it goes. I'm not real good at body work, and that's what this is kind of leading to. But that'll bring that thing forward enough that it just has enough clearance there, and then it won't rub on the intercooler. So that's actually right there. It's funny, it touches, kind of almost touches here by the time it touches there. So that actually worked out really nice. So then what I can do for this is, what I can do up here is put some nut certs in there too after I fill all that in. And that bad boy will be ready. It looks like the factory upper hose is gonna fit just like it should. I actually might take and cut it down and lower it some. We'll see, but I'm gonna keep bumping along. But yeah, I like that. I can deal with that. The cuts weren't too hateful. So yeah, so let me keep going. All right, days later, she's all mounted up. So I gotta do some primer and some paint. I'm gonna touch a little bit of the edge up. It still has a little bit of pinholes because I'm not a body guy. Overall, it came out really nice. I got to use the factory mounts. It's off the turbo. It's not touching between here and here. I mean, it's super, super close, but it's not touching, and I don't think it'll ever be able to move. And then, most importantly, got some gappage there. So, not too bad. So, what I'm going to do is I went to Eastwood this morning, and I'm going to they have an internal frame coat with a straw. So, I'll coat the inside of it. Then we're going to wipe it off. Put a little bit of Bondo down through the edge, just where a couple of my little pinholes are from just welding. We'll do that. We'll sand it. We'll primer it. And I have some paint to match. And I'm going to try to spray it. And then what else? So we're going to do all that stuff, get that thing painted up. But now that it's mounted, The upper hose like is going to fit. I got to test fit the lower hose, and then we're going to do the wiring. So since this is brushless, Holly's going to pulse width modulate it, which means that basically you can slow it up and speed it down. So I'm going to have to run a power and a ground, and then I'll have to run a wire. I'll probably take the existing radiator wire, fan wire, and use it to actually speed up and slow it down, which means I have to change some stuff in the software or maybe pull a pin out and put it back. But not too bad overall, not too bad. Like I said, it's a little bit tighter here than here, just a hair though. But like I said, I'm not a body guy, but you wouldn't really be, unless you were sitting there and staring at it forever, you wouldn't be able to tell. I can put my factory hood latch on. Yeah, what can I say? So I'm gonna keep going, and hopefully, well, I'm gonna wire it. I'm gonna wire it now and get it back together. We actually need to start it for the first time and see if everything's okay. So see you in a bit. Sometime later, she's back together. Got the part primered and sprayed. It did spray a little bit dry, so it's rough, and there's no clear on it, but it doesn't look too bad. Maybe I'll wait this winter and get back over it. Everything's in place. I actually fired the thing for the first time. Got the radiator fan to work. It works really nice. The unfortunate part of all this is as the truck's running, I could hear an exhaust leak, and down here, right down there where them pipes meet, it must be cracked. So I'm going to tear that manifold back out. I'm going to do that off camera. But other than that, the thing sounds great. It holds really good oil pressure. It just sounds good. No smoke out of it. I keep checking the cylinder heads because, again, I did some trickery behind the scenes to try to get those cosmetics to seal up what the head studs. And I keep kind of looking down the block to make sure it's not seeping. Nothing yet. Fingers crossed that it's okay. But yeah, I'm going to do it. Try to, hopefully, I can get that exhaust leak fixed because that manifold is old. And then probably do some video with this thing on the street, put the GoPro in it, and we'll take it out and see how it acts with that new 7675. But it's been a while since I've had a video out just because of life. So I'm going to go and edit this stuff up, and then at some other point, we'll come out with another one, and hopefully we'll be able to get this thing out on the street and see what this new turbo is all about. And then we're going to get back on the dyno, most importantly, for you guys, and I'm excited to get this sucker to the track. So sorry it's been so long. Thanks for watching. You got any questions, hit me up in the bottom, and we'll see you guys next time.